you're in that spot. Now it's Ricky.
Yeah.
Sends his regards. He's playing baseball. I forget what it's called. It's that baseball with all the stats. He's playing against his dad, the 34 Boston Braves against the 34 Boston Red Sox in a big matchup tonight. So
nice.
There you go. So we'll see how that goes. 2 wins.
That's awesome.
All right, so we are going to record the show now. We have not lost our minds. We have, but here's the deal. We are recording this one not for this Friday, but for a week from Friday, May the 6th, the day after Cinco de Mayo. So it'll be really quiet.
Yes. Got it. Be
yes.
Very, very quiet.
Yes. So that is the deal. We just did the May the 4th listener questions earlier today. And then tomorrow night, I'll be recording the Monday show after this one with listener Neil, who's a lizard, who will talk Spring Surprise and actually a little bit more Disneyland. He was there over the holidays.
Awesome.
So lots going on. Neil heard. So that'll be tomorrow night. And then we're out. Then I'm out. Then we'll have the podcast all loaded in. Actually, tomorrow afternoon, a Mike in the Midwest, if you're a Patreon subscriber, that'll be out. I think I'm going to talk about, you probably don't even know what this is, Ricky. I doubt anybody that's a patron knows what this is, but I'm still going to try it because I've been wanting to talk about this because it was big like for 6 months in our house. Do you remember a channel called Nick Gas? Gas?
Okay, yes, but I didn't watch it, but I do know what it was, and it was the Games and Sports Network for Nickelodeon. Yes.
We were upset. Paige and I, this was like when Pam and I were first dating. Like we weren't even married yet. We were obsessed with this channel.
I mean, this is where Guts live.
Yes, it was Global Guts.
I mean, Guts was on regular Nickelodeon at one point, but
right. But this got all the old competition shows. It had Nick Arcade. It had Finders Keepers. It had Skip the Picture, Mike O'Malley, and Mo. Let's go to Mo for the scores. Mo.
I love Mike O'Malley and Mo.
Yeah, no, I love that. It was filmed live at Universal Studios, Florida.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Where's that building still there?
It was in where I'm pretty sure a lot of it was in the building where Blue Man Group was. They're not there anymore.
Is the building still there though?
The building is still there. Yes. Huh. I am pretty sure that's the building. My brother would know for sure.
Let's go to Mo.
Yeah. Actually, when we were kids, we went to the Nickelodeon studio at Universal, and we actually saw them. They used to do a show that was sort of similar to TRL, but not quite. And it was afternoon, live type thing. And we saw them kind of filming that for a little bit. It was kind of cool. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about Nick Games and Sports on Mike in the Midwest. So that'll be something that this Paige and I did that probably in. We were obsessed with that channel. I would guess in the year maybe 2003, 2004-ish.
Nice.
It was like a bonus channel. There were no commercials on that channel.
Oh, that's good.
Promos.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a cool little thing. Games and Sports.
Nice.
Yeah, but then it went off the air. It turned into Noggin, I think, or something.
That makes sense too. Yeah.
Anyway, so we are going to talk about money saving tips. Where can you save money here, there, and everywhere on your Walt Disney World vacation? Because Ricky and I can, we can be a little tight when it comes to going down to Florida. So it's a good topic for us.
Yes.
And so if you have tips, please put them in the live chat, and we will give you credit. Yeah. We will read your tip, and we will give you credit. But again, this is for a week from Friday. We have not lost our minds. I know I'm leaving on Thursday morning. Got to get ahead so we don't miss any episodes. We don't take weeks off. We don't go. No. We don't use that word hiatus.
No. What's a hiatus?
Yeah, what's a hiatus? We don't hiatus.
I don't hiatus nothing.
I mean, I'll be hiatusing, but we'll have podcasts.
Right, exactly. Yes.
I'm supposed to be my grandpa would be like, you don't get a hiatus, you do your job. So that's how it is. Today's been crazy, and Ricky's been flexible. I've told her 7 different times.
Yes, that's true.
Scott was trying to get in here too, but I mean, I've told him 3:30. I've told him 9:00 tonight. Now he's now in the middle of a baseball game, so he was going to be here. Totally my fault. So but you're going to hear a lot of Scott over the next couple of weeks. He recorded early. He's got a trip report actually next Monday. So, yes, I'm trying to beat Cal Ripken's streak. I don't know how many games he played in a row, but I'm getting close on the podcast, I think.
Got it.
Close.
I must not be getting chat. Oh, no, I am. Okay.
Okay. I'll say what? Okay, so I quit reading Twitter. Okay, so episode 2000 is the dog good?
She's in my lap right now, so we should be good.
Oh crap!
Yes.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, Jennifer's kicking in with the first tip of the day.
I know, I like it.
All right, here we go. Actually, let me stop this because I was recording there to get the levels. Nope. Okay. 2082. Welcome to episode 2082 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you and happy 6 de Mayo. Hopefully you had a great Cinco de Mayo yesterday. We'll try not to be too loud today in case you had a very fiesta-filled, yes.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo with much margaritas and tequila.
There you go.
Had a good one. So, ease your way in. Cinco de Mayo was on a Thursday. That's very bad for productivity on a Friday, I can imagine. So,
so bad. Yeah.
We'll see how Friday goes at businesses around the country and around the world. But we're here. We're going to get you through this Friday and have a good time and talk Disney and try to come up with some ideas as to how you can save a few dollars here and there on your upcoming Walt Disney World vacation, both while you're at Walt Disney World and before. So we'll talk about that with our friend Ricky. You can find her every day over at themouseforless.com. Happy Friday, Ricky.
Happy Friday. Cinco de Mayo, had some fun, had some, tacos or nachos or whatever. So it was delicious.
All the above, actually. I mean, I'm down in Walt Disney World still. We're recording this one a bit early, just a little bit behind the scenes. You guys can figure it out. I mean, you see me on social media, but I promise you, I mean, it could be, December 12th that I'm having Mexican food.
Mike has had Maya Grill or
I just had Mexican food just a minute
ago. Maybe not. Let me just warn you, after seeing my meal from Pecos Bills last time, maybe not Pecos Bills right now. Maybe Maya Grill is the better choice.
Yeah, I will be having a margarita for Cinco. I'm sure I did by now, and it's all over my social media, but I will be having Mexican many, many times while I'm down there on this trip because I'm going to be solo for the back half of this trip. And that means nobody's going to be all over me about what I eat. So I can eat, nice. Whatever. Nice.
Hey, Mike, you can go to Cape May and finally eat the buffet there.
I've had Cape May for breakfast. You
can have the seafood. Go for the seafood, Mike. Go for the seafood.
I could, but I don't know. I still have a thing about like buffets and being a solo.
All right.
Because
that's easier.
Is it? I mean, I'm going to get up and then I'm going to be worried they're going to clear my table.
They're not going to clear your table. They know you're there.
I'm paranoid about that kind of thing when I'm a solo. I got that at the ABC commissary last time because there you leave your dishes on the table and I had to get a refill.
But your server's not going to think that you just abandoned them with the the check and everything. I mean, sometimes people I'm sure do that, but like they know that it's a buffet and you're going to get up and go get food. So yeah,
maybe I will. Doubt it, but maybe
I know I doubt it too. But hey, I'm throwing it out there as you finally get a chance to eat seafood.
Yeah, opportunity's knocking.
Exactly.
All right, so there we go. We'll see if I answer. Okay, so today let's jump into the topic at hand. Of course, do follow me on the social media. I have a couple more days, actually just one more day down at Walt Disney World, but I've been posting like crazy, I'm sure. So at Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram and Twitter. Also,
definitely going to make sure you follow. Yes,
absolutely. So been posting away. Hopefully, I am surviving Cosmic Rewind because I have friends at Disney Cruise Line that I speak with. One of my good friends, this cast member over there, her name is Kat, and she had done a cast member preview weeks before now, and she's around my age, so we were kind of comparing notes there, and I asked her, I'm like, how was it? It was probably awesome, right? She's like, whew, made me a little ill. So I was like, oh no. So we'll see. I hope. And Pam's a little worried too, so we'll get some reviews.
Yeah.
Lasting out of a station backwards isn't what it used to be.
It's true. It's true.
All right. So let's talk about saving money for trips down to Walt Disney World. Let's talk about pre-trip. Like, what kind of things do you do to kind of just bank money or do things to kind of put into the Disney fund? Not too, far off topic, but Are there any things that you do kind of Disney related that helps you put a little away for your trips?
It's called blogging.
It used to be travel agent stuff. Now it's how I actually make my living.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously though, that is how I do make a little bit of the extra money to go to Walt Disney World as often as I do. So that part is kind of helpful. I know not everyone can do that, obviously, but that is a good way of how I do it. But even just setting aside a small portion of, your weekly or bi-weekly paycheck, whatever you have, like, $25, $50, whatever, that can go a long way. So, you will have money saved up for a vacation in no time if you just do that. Set it, kind of like the whole set it and forget it thing, like just put it in a bank account so it automatically withdraws that money into a savings account, and just do it that way. Brian and I also, we've done things like sell things on, before in the old days when we were coming down, Brian's parents had a shop, and we would sell, items at the shop in order to make extra money. But another great way to do that is things like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, that kind of thing. I know that lots of people can make extra money that way. Of course, there's always the old standby of, taking your change, your coins, and who has coins anymore? Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But I have a piggy bank, and whenever we have some change, I just throw change in there, and that way it saves up money for trips as well. And then the other thing I know a lot of people do is they will oftentimes get gift cards for Disney at places like Kroger or Target or wherever. A lot of times those places will have a better way to get gift cards. So, I know like my Kroger, they offer like usually it's not a percentage off, but they'll give you double gas miles or something. So that can kind of help out a little bit too. So that way you're getting a double bang for your buck in a way. And those are just a few of the ways. Another thing is that I do have the Disney Rewards Visa, the Chase Visa. So what I do is I buy everything that I purchase. Everything goes on that credit card. I pay it off every single month. Mm-hmm. I don't ever have a balance. And then I have the rewards card so that all the money that that I gain from the rewards goes to my Disney trips. So it really does add up. I will tell you, I've been able to buy annual passes with that money. So I mean, it adds up a lot. And I know people have qualms about credit cards, things like that, whatever is your personal preference on that. I totally understand. But, like I said, we pay it off every single month, so we don't ever have an issue with that. And, I get my rewards that way. So those are kind of things that have helped me in the past save for Disney vacations, as well as, are things that I kind of do now.
So I will say I also have the Disney Visa rewards card. And one thing they started offering that was a little bit different, probably it's been about 5 years or so ago, was that it's called the Disney Premier Visa card. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's an upgrade. So I believe I believe the regular one is a no annual fee card.
Yes.
The one that I have, I actually upgraded to, I think it's $99 a year. But if you look at it, because I'm just like Ricky, I do not carry a balance on any credit cards. I mean, I think it's kind of a Midwestern thing. Like my parents, we never had a credit card growing up as a kid. And I know that because, and I'm a little bit older than you, but when VCRs became kind of mainstream in our town, we didn't have like Blockbusters yet, but we had a place called Movies to Go. But you couldn't rent movies unless you had a credit card, like to put on file. And I remember, I went in there with my dad, and we couldn't rent movies because my dad he didn't believe in credit cards.
Gotcha.
You couldn't get a movie. Eventually, you get a Blockbuster card with other,
Right. Yeah.
You just didn't have credit cards growing up, so I have them. It's kind of a necessity nowadays. I carry 2 of Southwest and I use that for my flights and a Disney Visa for everything else. But I don't carry a balance, and I use that upgraded one. It's $99 a year, but you get increased bonus for what I spend things on. And I make way more than the $99 over a year. Right. And the thing is, like you mentioned, I mean, for example, I just bought all 3 of our tickets to Disneyland with my rewards points with some to spare. So, that took care of 3 5-day hoppers with Genie Plus this summer. So, I mean, right there, that was a big help. And that, that way I only had to pay for the hotel room. you know, the flights and stuff for vacation. So that's a good tip. You also mentioned now the banks and the savings and loans used to call those kind of like Christmas funds or holiday funds, where you just kind of get the deposit pulled into just a separate account there to kind of have the fun money, which is a great idea. And I like that. I never thought about using like Facebook Marketplace or something to sell things. That's a good tip too. I like that as well.
Yeah, because I mean, we always have, you know, junk we don't want that we are looking to get rid of. I'm looking at something right now in my recording room that I need to get rid of. It's some bed rails. So you know, like it's yeah, exactly right. $10. But you know, it's just things like that like, you know, it's small amounts of money, but it really does add up. So I know a lot of people make a lot of money on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. So it's a really great option. It's kind of like the current day garage sale, which of course is another thing that I used to do to save for, you know, Disney money was I would have garage sales every once in a while. Brian kind of ixnayed that because, you know, I'd hold on to all the stuff and then it would take forever for me to have another garage sale. So the Facebook Marketplace idea is a little bit better. At least I can just get stuff out of the house at that point.
You don't have to display it. You just take a picture, and if somebody wants it, because Pam did that right before we moved, and they did these things called porch pickups.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, porch
exactly.
Pickup, yeah.
She'd tell me, she'd be like, we're not getting robbed today. There's somebody coming by and picking something up off the porch, and they should leave money under the mat. I'm like,
yeah. You're like, oh no.
Because I'm working from home and she's at school. I'm like, is this legal?
Yeah.
This doesn't sound right. But yeah, I mean, it's a good way, you know, and plus you're cleaning your house. Like you're getting rid of junk you don't want. And
that's true.
So.
And they can even do things like Venmo you the money too that way. So that's a little bit easier too. So then you can get that transferred over to a, you know, either a credit card or a checking account or whatever you need to do too.
So. Yeah, Jennifer again kind of echoes Jennifer in the live chat, who's always here helping us out in beautiful the Westplex here in St. Charles County, Missouri. She talks about getting those Disney gift cards, places like Target, Sam's, because you can use a red card, I think, at Target and get 5% off. So that, I mean, Scott does this for all his trips. I'll tell you that. I know that Scott, because he says like he'll save like $300-400. I mean, on like a $3,000-4,000 trip. I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, it's like a night at the hotel, so it's worth it that way. And Jennifer has the key. Let me give her a ding for this tip. There we go. She said, and if you get Disney gift cards, combine them into groups of 1,000 at DisneyGiftCard.com before you send those to your TA, or if you just use them for Disney, because otherwise, I remember when I first became a TA, I booked a trip for somebody at my church. And God bless her. And I didn't know what I was doing either. She came in with a Schnucks bag, which is our local grocery store, with like 122 like $20 gift cards. Maybe there were 50s. I mean, but they were small. And I spent my whole afternoon watching football and typing those things in. And I was, you know, you miss them because they got 16 digits and an EAN. And it's just easier to keep track of like 5 numbers because if there's a refund, it always goes back to the card. So I'm just saying, use DisneyGiftCard.com to combine smaller cards.
Is that still around though? That's what I was looking.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
because we use it every day.
Yes. Okay, I was just making sure that it was still around because I know that they did
updated it. Yes, they
did make some changes to what they used to do. So okay,
not even say it's not, because it makes my life easier and it will make your life easier. I promise you. Even if you don't use a travel agent, it will make your life easier.
It will definitely make your life easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jennifer also says, let's move into getting when you're down at Walt Disney World. And here's one of the greatest tips: take water bottles and snacks into the parks. If you want to taste a free soda, go to Club Cool. Get the Beverly. I like what you did. There's another ding. Jennifer's on fire today. No, you don't have to. But I wonder how many. Okay, let me ask you this, Ricky. What do you think? Let's take a poll here. I'm just going to poll you since this isn't totally interactive.
Right. Yeah.
What percentage of guests? We can do another show like that. What percentage of guests? Remember we used to do those?
Yeah.
We got, because that was a lot of fun. Let's do it. What percentage of guests do you think you cannot bring in food or drinks to
it?
Because movies, you go to the movies, they don't want you bringing in snacks. I mean, I bet you, I would guess, or well, you give your guess first and I'll say what I think.
You know, honestly, I would guess probably about, I'm going somewhere between 60 and 70%.
You think they say that they think you cannot bring stuff in? Well, I was going to say like 30%. I
think a lot of people think you can't bring food into the parks.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, like, you know, the people that are really frugal, right? I mean, there's the most famous example of this is from Touring Plans. The picture
of them bringing an entire Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah,
pilgrims, and they had the candelabras,
and it was no joke. They brought in they brought in a turkey. I mean, they brought in everything. You are correct. Yes.
Yes, it ate it on the train station, I think. Yeah,
but I
mean, think about it. Like, there's debates. Like, I mean, that is an ultimate way. I mean, food is expensive. I mean, snacks are expensive. I mean, but a lot of people also say, that's part of the experience too. Like, I go to Walt Disney World to have a sweet cream pretzel and to have a Rice Krispie treat and stuff like that. But I mean, if you are really on a budget and you're just there for the experience, you can save a ton of money by bringing a can of Pringles, some bags of M&Ms. I mean, you're probably saving $100 a day. Easy.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the reason why I said that, I think it's so high is because, they do have the bag checks. Now, granted, I think maybe a little less now that they're not like actually rifling through your bag.
Now it's not such a shameful thing. People were kind of embarrassed, like they bring food in. Now who knows?
And I think that a lot of people thought, oh no, they're rifling through my bag because they're going to catch me with food. They're trying to catch my food or whatever. And that's definitely not why they were doing that. But so I do think it's a large amount of people that think you can't bring in food. Now, I know that a lot of people obviously know that you can, and they definitely do. I see people all the time standing in line, eating a bag of, usually it's Pringles, or, some sort of chip or something like that.
Okay, let me ask you this too. Here's another thing. Our listeners, you got to give me some feedback because I'll be reading it right away.
Yeah, I know. This is interesting.
Here's the thing. This is psychological. Okay, so I'm at Walt Disney World, and somebody busts out a can of Pringles.
Yes.
I want Pringles all of a sudden. Like, I have all these awesome snacks that I want, like the other 360 days of the year that I cannot have.
Yeah.
And I always have a can of Pringles or something up in my pantry. But when I'm at Walt Disney World, the Pringles look so tasty. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's the grass is always greener kind of situation.
It is true. I never have Pringles. And then I see them at Disney and I'm like, oh, those look really good. I could totally go for some cheddar cheese Pringles right now.
No kidding. Okay, so the other things though, let's talk accommodations real quick. So one way, say you were going to stay at a moderate resort for the whole time. One way that you could do this is to do a split stay. Maybe you stay at a moderate resort for 60% of the time, stay a couple nights at a value resort. That's going to save you a couple $100, and you can still have fun staying at Pop Century for 3 nights. And then at the last 4 nights, go into a French Quarter or Coronado or Caribbean Beach. I mean, that's one way that if the money is really tight, but you want to have the experience, you would still have fun. You would have 2 different experiences. And it would work. I mean, it's easier to be at one hotel the whole time. The amenities are obviously better at a moderate, but that's something to consider for as far as hotels. Anything else, like as far as accommodations you can think of? I still say stay on site, but I know
obviously I don't stay on site, which there are reasons for that. Obviously,
stay for free.
I do rent a room, so I do have technically an apartment in Orlando,
right?
At this point now, so So for me, that again, I'm a little bit different than a lot of other people because I have the ability to do that, but actually, I'm gonna suggest something it's gonna be a little controversial. Okay, here we go. Hear me out.
Jump the berm.
Just hop on over. Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, don't. So you can do the thing where you stay at a value resort, but I'm gonna suggest stay at a value resort for a good chunk of your vacation, and then here's the tip: move up to not a moderate, but I'm gonna say deluxe. And the reason I'm gonna say deluxe is because you can then take advantage of those evening extra magic hours or whatever they're called now. And so it's like having a Disney After Hours event.
Right.
And you're not paying for a Disney After Hours event. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of save on not having to go to a Disney After Hours event, and you have time in the parks where there's not a lot of people. The parks are pretty well dead, and it's a really great experience for you. So yes, you're definitely paying a lot of money, but you get a lot of bang for your buck. And I think that that's a really quality thing at that point. So just you got to make sure that you're staying there on a night when they actually have the extra hours. Mm-hmm. Now, Mike, you would know better than I do, because obviously I haven't stayed at a deluxe resort since they implemented these, but with the deluxe hours, is it the night that you check in and the night you check out, or
Yes.
is it?
You could have it either one of those. So it could be the night that you're staying there. Say you're like there for July 7th. It could be July 7th or the checkout day of July.
Well, I guess so if you're checking out and going from a deluxe to a value on that night, not that I recommend that, because that's we've talked about how that doesn't work out the best for people, but then that might be an option for you. Obviously you wouldn't want to have it for a night that you're leaving, the theme parks, because then you couldn't take advantage of it. But, I think that's definitely an option that people should consider. The other thing is, though, they only have those nights on select nights. So you want to make sure you look at the calendar. Right now, they only have them at Magic Kingdom and Epcot. And I think the last time I looked, they're only on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? Something along those lines. So again, something you want to pay attention to. But I think there could be some value in this.
I agree.
If you really do it the right way. I think doing it at I'm going to go quote unquote cheaper deluxe resort. So say something like a Wilderness Lodge or something like an Animal Kingdom Lodge or something like that would, obviously make it a little more economical as well than if you're staying at like the Grand Floridian or something like that.
Yeah, what you're looking at for that would be your best bets would be like a studio at Old Key West. If you try to catch a discount, like a studio at Old Key West,
True.
Animal Kingdom Lodge standard view. Because today I booked actually a room only for somebody just for that reason. For one night at the end of the stay, it lines up with the schedule because it's here very soon. And it was under $400 a night, which is expensive for a hotel room, but for a deluxe at Walt Disney World right now, that's one of the cheapest.
Right.
So
and I think Jennifer's chiming in that the Swan Dolphin and Swan Reserve also take advantage of this too, which again, I know a lot of people have qualms about because it's technically not Disney, but it's on Disney property. It depends on how you want to vacation. But if you're, looking to save a little money and still get some of those deluxe amenities, those hotels also can offer those benefits. So, yeah.
All right. So let's talk. We kind of talked about food, but what about kind of in general dining? So one thing I noticed is that for sit down meals, you can almost have the same food at lunch for usually about $5 or $6 cheaper than dinner many times. So I think Americans, maybe it's just me. I shouldn't say Americans. I should say that I think of like when back on the dining plan, we used to get a counter service meal.
Yeah.
You got a table service meal and you got a snack. And like I think
yes, that was it.
Things you got other things at different times, but that's basically kind of always the gist of the standard dining plan.
Yeah,
and I always kind of generally my default was like we'd have something quick in the room for breakfast, like a Rice Krispie treat or a Pop-Tart or something, and then the counter service meal was always lunch, almost always. Sometimes you like after breakfast or something, and then the sit down meal was always dinner. But the thing is, okay, now there's not a dining plan and we're all kind of paying our own way. What if you flip the script here and you had your sit down meal for lunch and it was a little cheaper than you do counter service for dinner, maybe give you a little more flexibility later in the day, something like that.
Definitely. And I do think that Disney's kind of caught on to this. And I feel like they, especially like the, buffets and things like that. It used to be the buffet was a little bit cheaper, at lunch than it was dinner if they had a lunch and dinner buffet. And now I feel like they definitely have kind of made one price for lunch and dinner. Yeah. So I feel like I don't know if they offer as many like lunch discounts as they used to, which is kind of sad. So but if you can find a restaurant that does offer a lunch discount, then go for it. That would be a really good option. And there are some restaurants that do offer just lunch menus. Or more lunch specific menus, I guess I should say. So look for those as well. I'm going to say, one of my tips for kind of saving money on food is, again, if you're going to dine a breakfast, a lot of times Brian and I will have a very, one of the last breakfasts that we can get. So, that 10:50 breakfast is usually is our sweet spot. I wish that Disney offered breakfast until 11:30. It would make my life so much easier. But I get it. Although some do offer brunch, and brunch does go till 2:00. Like I noticed that Steakhouse 71 when I just ate there. They do offer a brunch on at least Sundays for sure, and that goes till 2. So it wasn't everything on the full menu for breakfast, but at least you did have some breakfast options.
But that meal that you had that you spoke of sounded so good.
It was so that's another thing you could save on. Like definitely look for.
You split like that was another thing I want to bring up. You split like I'd never split a meal. Like I mean, just like you put your hand near my plate and you're liable to lose your finger. I'm just saying, like that's just how it works with me. But
yes,
you did it right because like you split kind of a bigger kind of entree, but then you got a couple of side things too, and that's made it go a little further.
Yeah, I'll go back to that too because that's something Brian and I do a lot. But so what we do though a lot of times is we'll have that later breakfast, and that way we'll be full for a good portion of the day. So we'll usually do a sit down breakfast at that point. And sometimes we'll do counter service, but usually it's a sit down. And then we'll be good. We'll maybe snack throughout the day, whatever. And then we decide, okay, I want to have a, table service dinner, or maybe sometimes we'll decide we want to have a counter service dinner, whatever. But we'll have that, we'll only have like 2 meals in that day, and we'll snack the rest of the time. This is especially good for things like, a festival at Epcot, where you can just go around, eat, a bunch of snacks around the World Showcase or whatever. And then you can have something to eat later that night for dinner. So that's a lot of what we do. The other thing, like you said, we do a lot of times is we will split entrees. We do this here at home, and we do it, when we're at Disney. So what we'll do is we'll come together. We'll say, hey, what do you want to eat? A lot of times we agree on what we want to eat. So we're like, cool, you want to split it? And then what we'll do is we'll either add an appetizer on, or we'll add extra sides on, or we'll add a dessert on, or whatever. So that way it's not like we're not like totally cheaping out on the bill. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't look like we're complete cheapskates. But it at least allows us to not eat like into completely stuffed, because trust me, Disney food, it's a lot of food. I mean,
and the thing is at Disney, a lot of times, I mean, most of the times of the year, it's like hot and humid. And then,
is.
And then you're going to be doing a ton of walking. Like that's the difference. There's a lot of differences between like eating at home. And I've had it forever to learn this, right? Like if I go out to eat here, I get in my car and I come home and get home and I watch the ball game and play on my computer, and like while I'm watching the ball game and do work. Like I'm not like when I'm at Disney, like when I finish a big old meal, I'm out like in 98% humidity and it's 90 degrees and I'm going to 6 miles. Like
exactly.
It's not fun. Yeah. You don't know.
It is definitely not fun, and it is something to keep in mind.
Right.
So
I still do that to myself. I thought I'm like an idiot. Like,
yeah, so dumb. Yeah, no, don't do that. Learn that lesson. But yeah, so we'll do that a lot, where we, we'll do that. But let me just, tell you, make sure that you do tip your server a little bit extra, not what the actual tip amount is supposed to be based off of the bill, but add a little bit, because you are of course not eating a full meal, full 2 meals. So obviously you're kind of gypping the server a little bit if you just go off of the amount that that you have. But we do save money that way. So like when that meal at Steakhouse 71 that we split, yes, we did add the pastry, which was technically I guess an appetizer for the table. It was still cheaper than us getting 2 separate entrees. So, that was good. And we got drinks and everything like that. So, but our meal was still cheaper doing it that way than us getting, me getting 1 entree, him getting the other. And, and then, we get to try different things that way too. So, we do get to enjoy like appetizers a lot of times that we probably wouldn't have gotten before if it had just been us getting 2 entrees, because we'd have been like, no, we don't need the appetizer at this point. We're good. We don't need to do that. So, or dessert, it just kind of depends on what our mood is at that point. If we see something on the dessert menu that we really have to have, we're like, okay, so we have a plan now. We know what we're doing. We're going with it.
And that's it's a great idea, and I think the thing too is you really have to get in the mindset at Walt Disney World. And I'm just now getting there after, going there for 20 years regularly, is that, when I'm at home, like for example, when I have dinner here, like I want to eat till I'm really full, because I mean, again, I run a lot, like I burn a lot of calories. I mean, I need a lot of food because I burn a lot of calories, I still run when I go to Walt Disney World. But the thing is, I don't have to eat till I'm like totally full, because you have an opportunity for all kinds of wonderful snacks. You don't want to be full at Walt Disney World. Like I can leave, but I mean, in an hour, I have a chance to get ice cream or a pretzel or
popcorn. Well, you wouldn't,
or something like you. if you're full, you're passing up opportunities, and you're only there for so long, and you're going to miss out. Like it's counterintuitive to stuff yourself.
100%. You were absolutely right. Like I said, we went, we had dinner, that's why we did Pecos Bill that night, because we knew, okay, we're going to snack around Magic Kingdom later in the evening. So, we had Pecos Bills, enjoyed that. And then we got popcorn later on, and then as we were getting ready to leave the Magic Kingdom, as the park was closing, we got ice cream at the ice cream parlor. So, we split that too, because let me tell you, we got that ice cream, and
that ice cream you posted looked good.
Well, and then I dropped the entire and then the whipped cream completely fell off. Like literally 2 seconds later, after I took that picture, the ice cream or the whipped cream and cherry went ploop, and I was like, oh, and it fell right on the floor in the restaurant. I said, no.
Everybody laughed at you for posting it on Instagram.
I know, exactly. So, but it was a good size ice cream sundae, and I was really glad that I didn't eat it all by myself, because that would have been.
It just didn't feel terrible. Like I just wolfed that thing down. I mean, I do that every time with the All American sundae. Like I didn't need that. I should.
Like they don't have the All American sundae.
Whatever. I'm not going back.
I know. I'm so sad. I was so disappointed. Can I just tell you? I got in line. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get the All American sundae. Oh no, it's not listed on the menu.
Yeah, I'm only going to Disneyland from now on.
I know, right? There you go.
No, but that's. Oh, also one thing. So you mentioned popcorn. I want to throw this out there because you did this as well. We do this too.
Yes.
Okay, popcorn buckets. Now, I'm not talking the real fancy ones. I'm talking just the bucket.
Yes.
And they're kind of cool looking, especially right now because they have the 50th anniversary kind of iridescent little mural or whatever you call on the side, the decoration on the side of it. So it's a nice little. It's a keepsake. It's a souvenir in a way, but it's also, if you're going to be there for like a week.
Oh my gosh,
like 8 or 9 days, and like you have a family of like 5. I mean, this could be, if you use this and take it with you every time you go to the parks,
100%.
You're coming out way ahead on the popcorn bucket.
100%. I mean, you do have to pay for the refills. So just keep that in mind. The refills are not free.
No, but I mean, still.
Bucks, yeah, exactly. It's like $2.50, I think, or something like that. And so, or $2.25. And that's way worth it, when all is said and done, because, if I wanted just a regular like popcorn while I'm in the parks, it's like $5.50 or something like that. And let me tell you, that popcorn is not as big as the bucket. So you're not getting as much popcorn either. So I'm getting more popcorn for my money for the $2.25. So, and another thing too, I know a lot of people talk about the refillable mugs. Are they worth it or not? But here's the deal. If you are going to be at the resorts, staying at the resorts for a couple of days, I honestly think a refillable mug is totally worth it, because I drink coffee every single morning myself. I get coffee. And
it also depends if you have the discipline to go to the food court, because some people don't want to have to walk. Say you're a Pop Century, you're staying in the 90s. That's commitment.
That is commitment. But I need coffee. Mama needs her coffee. Mama needs her coffee every morning. So I'm walking for my happy butt from the 90s to get my coffee at that point. So I get a refillable mug just about every time. If you bought, and yes, I know they have coffee pods in the room. They are not the same as a brewed cup of coffee. Like, actually, I'm not a fan of the pods.
Because it's like a 50th anniversary blend and all that I've seen.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fan of the pods. I don't really like them. So anyway, so I go and get, a cup of coffee from the actual like food court. That's $2-3 a pop. So the refillable mug is $19. So you add that up, in addition to the fact that you have then a souvenir that you get to take home, it evens out a little bit, and I don't feel so bad about spending the $20 on the refillable mug at that point. And that's just for my morning coffee. Then if you go later in the day, and grab a soda or whatever, you come back from the parks and you grab a drink or whatever at that point, you have that paid for even faster. So I am a big fan.
At the end. Yeah, and like I said, $5. Like look at it, say, because you're right. I mean, like for my sodas, they were $4.50 a pop. Like
exactly
at Pop Century. So say the length of stay one was $18 for the refillable mug. I mean, it's like 4 sodas, and then I get the mug as a souvenir.
And my cabinet is full of refillable.
You know how many Coke Zeros I slam in that many days? Like it's way more than 4.
I adore my refillable mugs. I use them every single day. I collect every single one I possibly can, because I mean, I do. They're one of my favorite souvenirs to get from Walt Disney World. So I'm a big fan of the refillable mugs. And I know, like I said, not a lot of people are. I have an old school one somewhere that a friend gifted me. That's actually a Pop Century one, and it says Pop Century from back in the day. And remember, it was like the big giant stick. Yeah,
I have that one. Yeah, I have the one that says opening and has the year.
I don't use that one. That one's for display only. But yeah,
no, mine's under the sink. Yeah, I got that one. I have one for the Polynesian like that, a big one.
Yeah,
and I have
yeah.
one for Korean Beach like that one, big one.
I don't have very many of those, so if anyone ever wants to gift me those, that'd be great.
Cool. But it still didn't hold that much soda either way.
No.
That's the problem. Is like by the time I go to get a refill, like I'm not even out like to the pool yet, and it's empty. But the best way to save money though on sodas and waters is again to use a service like Amazon Prime Now, or to use a grocer if you're going to be in the same hotel for a few days. Now this is a pain if you're going to only be there. Like say if you're doing a split stay, Bell services can move your sodas just like your luggage, but it's not easy, because then you got to put the sodas, they're cold, you got to put them back in the box and tape it up so they don't roll out, and so your bellman's not chasing 7 cans of soda down down the hallway and stuff like that. I mean that could be a tragedy. So it's easier if you got one stay, but you can save a ton of money because you can order. I mean, just like for our trip, I know we're getting Pop-Tarts, Rice Krispie treats because Mallory's got to be. I know one day she's got to be in the lobby because they got to catch the bus at 7:30 in the morning to go to ESPN Wide World of Sports for practice. So we got to give her breakfast. I mean, so we're not going to like Chef Mickey's. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be a Pop-Tart or something, muffins or something in the room. So that stuff saves you a ton of money, and it's practical because in the morning you tend to be in a hurry to try to hit a rope drop, or you just want to be out. You don't want to waste time in the morning. Time is money in the morning. So
yes,
especially if you have kids, if you can just start dealing out Pop-Tarts like they're playing cards and everybody's fed, I mean, boom, one less problem. Everybody's good to go. And Alfred reminds us that the refillable mugs are now, you can use them at all the resorts, which is really good.
That is also big because, and a lot of times I'll be like, walking through a resort or whatever, visiting one, and I'll just go put my cup under, get some coffee, because I can literally drink coffee like all day. I mean, I can drink it at 9:00 at night and be fine. So, that's a big thing that I do. Another food tip just to kind of throw out there too, that I was thinking about, and it's something that I do a lot of times is, adults can, and we kind of talked about this, on the show that we did recently, but, adults can order kids meals, especially at like counter service locations, or, I wouldn't really do it at a table service, but definitely at a counter service. I do this quite frequently because, again, kind of like what you were saying, I don't want to be super full, but I just want some food and I want, something good. And a lot of times the kids meals are definitely that. They do come with a drink, which is also kind of nice. That's a small drink. So I'll grab a bottle of water that comes with it, or I do drink milk, so because I'm a 5-year-old, so I'll grab that with my meal or whatever, and I'll just, and it usually comes with a couple sides too. So whether it's breakfast, because I'll do it a lot of times for breakfast too. So breakfast will come with like bacon and potatoes or whatever. So that part's nice, or you can get a couple of options like French fries. When I ate at Creations Cafe, or no, Creations Eatery, I'm gonna get so confused on these.
No, it's Connections, isn't it? It's Connections.
Oh yeah, it is Connections. See, I told you, I'm gonna get so confused on this.
Everybody's gonna be doing this. People are gonna be having waffles.
Why they named them so similar? I have no idea.
They're gonna be trying to shop at Starbucks. It's
exactly
like place all the time.
It's totally screwy. But
Disney, what are you doing?
I know, right? But when I did that, it came with fries, but you could also get a small side salad, which was kind of nice. It came with cuties, so I had like a couple of options that I could get. I used to get, I miss it. I don't know if they still do it. They did it before COVID, but you could get applesauce, which I would do all the time. And then I, again, throw that in my bag. So I'd have that for later, if I wanted a snack.
We used to put in our backpack back in the day with the dining plan. They give you these little cakes that were in little like.
Yes, I do remember the cakes.
On the dining plan, by the end of our trip, we'd have like 10 of those things in there because you were always full, because you always got like desserts and snacks. And
I am so glad they got rid of those stupid cakes. Those were just the most generic. Little Mickey sprinkles. Yeah.
So many of those things. Oh
yes. Oh my gosh. So that's a lot of what I'll do is, a lot of times for breakfast or for, lunch, I'll grab a kids meal. And, a lot of places they have unique kids meals that you can get that are, flavorful and delicious. And they're not just chicken fingers and, hamburgers, like at Satuli Canteen. I mean, the cheeseburger pods are one of my favorite things to get. Actually, and they added them back to the adult menu because so many people really like the cheeseburger pods that were on the kids menu. So, that's a place. I know Flame Tree Barbecue, a lot of times they have like a chicken leg or something like that you can get. There are a lot of different places that have some really good kids menu options that are not like just chicken fingers and, fries. So it's a good choice.
Cheeseburger pods. I think they kind of taste like Sloppy Joes.
The cheeseburger pods?
Kind of.
I don't know.
They're a little tangier. They would kind of taste like Sloppy Joes.
I can taste the mustard in them, which I normally don't love mustard, but I do like them in the cheeseburger pods.
Good Sloppy Joe. Good Sloppy Joe's. Okay, Scott, we're just about out of time, but I do want to hit some of our great tips. Kevin says he has success bringing his bucket back, so I'm not going to. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I am not going to say that you can or can't.
You're not technically. It says on the sign,
it's the length of your
stay. So yeah.
You're going to make them have to put the chip in it, like the soda cup.
Don't make them do that.
No, let's don't. Let's see here. We have Alfred has another great tip. Speaking of souvenirs, a couple other great tips in here. He says, you can grab free souvenirs around property. We also talked about like the cups and the buckets, but also things like napkins, that have like the 50th anniversary. I don't know if they have any, but sometimes they might. Monorail cards from the driver, like transportation cards. They have them on the boats too. The Adventureland Map Game, like that. What can you think? Back in the day, like Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom cards, they don't do that anymore.
There's the Wilderness Lodge Explorer or the Wilderness Explorers at Animal Kingdom. At Epcot, they have in the Seas Pavilion, they have a Dory it's like scavenger hunt basically, and they have a little booklet you can bring home that's free from that.
Yeah. So there's little things like that. Now, Jennifer also says, if you don't want to spend $30 on a t-shirt, do the tie-dye shirt activity at the resort for $10. And you have both an activity and a souvenir. And it's something you created, which I think makes the memory attached to the shirt.
Which
is pretty cool. So they do that at Pop Century. They'll do that at a lot of the resorts, actually, a lot of them. And finally, Kevin, I'm going to redeem Kevin with this one. He says, let me find it. I lost it here. We always have cereal and milk delivered to our hotel and always eat breakfast before leaving the resort. Kids are always easier to handle on a full stomach. Amen to that. He gets a ding. Pack some plastic bowls and spoons or grab some at the food court. Yes. Don't forget to order like utensils and bowls.
Yeah.
And that's a good idea. So,
yeah.
All right. I think that's about it. So I think we've saved at least a couple bucks for folks. I mean, a lot of these things I think everybody was doing, but sometimes you just forget about it. You're hustling, you're trying to get through the trip and you're like, oh, I should have remembered that. It could have saved me $15. I mean, $15 nowadays.
That's true.
This podcast has not gone up since 2008, by the way. I'm just saying.
It has not.
I'll tell you what, hosting cost has every month practically. They're like, we need a little more money. I'm like, what? But we do not charge you extra. So that's
we do not. No.
Free is free is free. So there you go. Those are our tips, and there you have it. There you are. All right. So anything big planned for the weekend this weekend?
Let's see. I don't think so because I think I have a chill weekend because next week I will be, let's see here. Next week, I will be getting ready to leave for Disneyland.
Nice.
So
the magic because I'll be there in July. Don't blow it because I want to.
I know. Yeah. So I am going to be in Disneyland the 15th through the 18th. So yeah, I'm going to be getting like all my stuff together to take the trip. I leave bright and early on the 15th. Oh, I'm going to cry so much. It's my flight my flight is like at 6 a.m.
Dude, mine was 5 to go down to Walt Disney World this time. You'll make it.
I live an hour from the airport and I have to be there 2 hours early. So yikes, I'm in trouble.
It is true.
And then I have to get, obviously I have to get up at least a half hour, probably earlier than that because it's me. So I got to get up an hour earlier to make sure that I, have my stuff already. So yeah, I'm in trouble. But no, I'm staying at the Disneyland Hotel. So that'll be really cool.
That's where I'm staying. I know.
Yeah. So
it's like the Polynesian. If you look at the grounds, it's very lush.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. But I will have, I know it was a little early to be talking about it because it's still another, week and a half. But I will be sharing lots of content, especially on the Mouse for Less social media. So you definitely want to make sure that you follow the Mouse for Less right now on all of our social media. So you have, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. You probably should follow on Instagram a little bit more than the others, because I find it a little bit easier to post just on Instagram in that regard. So you definitely want to make sure you're following for sure on Instagram. But, we also have YouTube. So I'm sure that I will be, Brian had me go a little outside my comfort zone this past trip that we went on and do some live streams. Maybe I'll do some live streams from Disneyland. I don't know. We'll see if I feel comfortable enough to do them by myself. But so never know. You might see some live streams on our YouTube channel too. So I've got plans. I've got big plans.
When I'm there in July, because I haven't broken. There's actually more news to break, but I haven't broken it yet. Well, maybe it has by the time the show came out, but there will be live streams from Disneyland. I promise you, it's gonna be crazy. Anyway, I've said too much. But
I'm scared. I'm scared. Yes.
So we're gonna have a good time. But so I can't wait to follow along. That's actually an agent education program out there for the Magic for Less. So a lot of the agents will be out there. I'm staying back to hold down the fort because with you and Pam both out there, someone's going to do the podcast.
Exactly.
And so I'll be here in lovely Missouri.
And no, I'm not an agent. So I know that question gets asked.
You're doing the social media.
I'm doing the social media for the Mouse for Less. So that's why I'm going. So yeah. So yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Follow Ricky again at Ricky Nibs on the socials. Follow me at BRGuestMike. I'm still at Walt Disney World, catching the flight home early Saturday morning to get back with my family so that we're back for Mother's Day. And also, by the way, happy Mother's Day to all the Disney moms on Sunday.
Yay! Happy Mother's Day.
Absolutely. We love you guys. And no live show on Sunday because I would get in trouble with my wife and I'm going to keep everybody else out of trouble. We're not going to do a show on Sunday night. Spend time with your moms, call your mom, take your mom to Texas Roadhouse, rock on, do what you got to do. Or take her to your favorite restaurant, just take her something to get her a flower, whatever you got to do. All right. Don't forget today's show brought to you by The Magic for Less. Check them out today over at themagicforless.com. The agents are standing by. They're going to take great care of you. I promise. All you got to do is just drop by the site. Great trip planning tools and you're set. So again, check them out, themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. It's one extra click and it really does help us out. You might not think that, but it really does. Just click through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon and become a part of our patron program. Our patrons get Mike in the Midwest, a bonus show every week. And you just get the warm feeling that you support the podcast that goes out all around the world. 14 and a half years now. We hang in there. We love spreading the joy, and you guys are the ones that make it happen. So if you want to be a part of that, come on over to patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Subscribe to the show on Facebook and YouTube. That way, every time we go live, you can join us here in the chat room. We love having you be a part of the show that way. And also, if you don't mind, give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. If you haven't done that before, we'd appreciate that. And thanks so much to the well over 1,000 people who have left us a rating and review before. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for the kind words. And it is very, very much appreciated. All right, we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your weekend. I have a couple of, I got like a day left at Walt Disney World, so I'm going to try to savor it and get back and share all the adventures here on the podcast this coming week. So for Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you an awesome weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Bada ba boom.
Yay.
Yeah, we'll have live streams then. Oh, and Len had a question. Who is the guy who reads the voice at the top, like on our intros and outros?
Yep.
His name is Billy Greenwood.
Yes, it is.
He's on many, many radio stations around the country. Now, this show's 14 and a half years old. So back in the day, my dad was the program director for a radio station called 103.3 KLOU, which if you take this little cover off of this microphone here,
is what that says.
This is just glued on here. Under here, this is the flag for that radio station. It says 103.3 Rams Radio because they had the Rams back in the day. Anyway, so at radio stations nowadays, there's like 5 stations in one building, like in one floor. So they had the oldie station, they had KC 95, which is the rock station. They had the alternative station. My dad would crack up about the alternative because my dad's he's 20 years older than me. So he's 67, he's 68. So when he would see the alternative guys, he'd be like, I don't know what these, because they're alternative. They dress different. And he's like, I don't know what they're listening to. I don't know what they're playing. And I don't know how they dress. just because my dad's super conservative, like he's Mr. Walton's. So you have the alternative station. My dad was the oldies station guy. Then you had the country station, and Greenwood was the main DJ for the country station. So, but he also was big in Atlanta. He would do like 26 stations at a time because he would voice track stuff. So he's on in Atlanta right now, actually, I think.
I don't know what he's on in Atlanta. I've not heard of him in Atlanta. So
you listen to country?
Not a lot. No, not anymore.
Well, have you ever heard the raw? Because I've played this before on like one of the old shows. I think it's like episode 1000. I played the raw audio of when he recorded that because he just read a bunch of copy and then I chopped it up and put the Phantasmic music behind it. And he's like, check. Welcome to the BR Guest Podcast. And he says all these phrases, and then I chopped it up and put it together so that it sounds like he's saying all this in like a cohesive sentence. He's not. It's all phrase. And so I'll maybe if Len's never heard that, I'll have to find that and post that again. It's hilarious. Maybe I'll do it next time. I'll have to find it. All right, I'll cut you loose and let you get on with your night.
Okay, have a great evening. All right, see ya. Enjoy Disney. I hate you, but that's okay.
Well, you're gonna get to go to Disneyland. Stay at the Disneyland Hotel.
I know, but I still hate you because you got into Guardians and I didn't.
No, I
you
can't.
suck.
Oh, okay. Hang on, Len. Hang on. Ricky, stay with me 1 second. Hang on. Let me find it real quick. I have it right here. It's in my Google Drive. Hang on. Stay tight, Len. Hang on. I'll find it. It's right here.
Oh, by the way, Mickey, Refillable Mugs, there is a new lid that just got released. You see it?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, hold on. Of course it panned down. Hold on.
Is that you? Is that your hand?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Where's the hole?
That's the hole. You lift up. You lift that up.
Yeah. Hang on. TMFLT. Where's BOGP? Logos, pictures. Hang on. I know it's in here. Hang on. Just hang with me because I want you to hear this again. It's hilarious. Google Photos. WDW audio files is probably it. Finish split. It's called like raw. Hang on. What? Hang on. I'll find it real quick. Hang on. What do I call it? True. I know it's called Raw Intro or something like that. This is real exciting. Hang on, I can find it this way. Let me do it like I'm editing. So file. Oh, here, I can just play it this way, like I'm editing. Let me save this real quick before I lose the show or we're doing this. So that would be terrible.
Please don't. Yeah.
Okay, save as episode. I should save this actually in the right directory too. Save in desktop. Be our guest podcast. Episode. I see your cat. Episode.
Yes.
82. Edited. Ooh, no edits on this one. Okay, hang on. It's gonna. I'm playing it right now. Hang tight, and I'll play it. It's coming. It's just got saved. It's got 17 seconds left. That's what your cat's thinking. Every time I see your cat, I think cats make me nervous.
He's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. Here's the other one. The other one came up too. Hey, Snape. Snape, come here. Come here, Professor. Professor, come here.
It's gonna be in here. Let's see. Hang on. The whole thing's got to be in here.
Yeah. Come on, buddy.
Don't go anywhere.
Come on. Professor.
What's this one?
Come on, Professor.
Don't go anywhere. We've got more great, authentic. No, wait, that's from Magical Mouse Radio.
Yeah, that's definitely from Magical Mouse Radio. He's not coming.
Final closing. Oh, here it is right here. Podcast VO. Here it is. This is hilarious.
Check.
Can you hear that?
You found the #1 podcast to relive the magic of those priceless Walt Disney World vacations.
I hope he doesn't cuss.
Welcome to the to the PR Gas Trip Planning Podcast. You're listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is the show where you're the star. This is the show where you're the star. This is the show where you're the star.
He's like, what?
I typed all these things
Ready
out.
to take a trip to the world? Ready to take a trip to the world? Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast.
And this is before podcasts like existed, really.
This is where your memories came from. No. This is where your memories come front and
listen.
this is where your memories came from. No. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
There's like 10. Hang on.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, if you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. We'll see you real soon. We'll see you real soon. We'll see you real soon. Thanks for going on our journey on another episode of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
That's it. Thanks for listening. That's it. All right. So there you go. There you go. That was Greenwood back in March of 2008.
Yup. Oh,
Yep.
That was it.
So now when you hear it, you cannot unhear that. When
That's
you hear
true. Yes. Get down, baby.
and the outro. All right. I'll cut you. Did you haven't had dinner yet, have you?
No, Brian's picking up a pizza. So
What kind?
Papa John's.
Oh, I like Papa John's.
I'm just a sucker for the garlic.
Like Papa John's.
So I'm a sucker for the garlic sauce. And actually,
I have that. I haven't had that. I don't know if ours still has garlic sauce.
no, they all do. They all do.
Do they?
Yeah. But what we have to do, what we do is we get a thin crust pizza. So they have one that's kind of cracker thin. So we'll get it that way, and then we'll cut it in squares. Like, emos.
I'm trying to be like emos.
It's kind of like emos, but not quite. Yeah, exactly. And then the problem with doing it that way, though, is if you get the thin crust pizza, they do not give you the garlic sauce for free.
Because I'm thinking like that'd be hard to dip. Like it's made for like the big thick crust, like you have like a breadstick.
Yeah, no, like I'm pouring that crap all over my pizza. Like it's not.
It's like the big end of the crust, like a breadstick.
I do that too, but I still pour it all over the pizza when I'm eating it. So like I want it for the pizza, not just for the crust. So I'm mad. I have to pay an extra 85 cents to get garlic.
Dude, 85 cents, you tightwad. We just talking about saving money.
I'm mad, dude. And then what makes me even more mad is when I pay the 85 cents and then I get home and they don't put the garlic sauce in it.
I'll pay $5, but if they don't give it to me, dude, I want to be knocking some heads. I'd be like, I got taste for it at that point, right?
Mad when they don't put it in there because I'm like, dude, I paid you extra money for this. Put in what I paid for.
I hate that stuff. I like it when I don't get my mild sauce at Taco Bell. I get fired up and it's free, but it's like you get a taste for it. Like you're ready to put that mild sauce on your chili cheese burrito and then you don't have it. It's disappointing. I know. Just do your job. I know how you. My job is to edit this podcast. So I'm out. All right. Hey, have a good one. And I will be texting you.
Okay. Yeah, you should text me.
Peace out, Snape.
All right. See you on the other side. Okay. Have a great time.